it seems I've been asked to put up a few more prepper shorts, so this afternoon I thought I would show you this. Probably underrated really, and I'm not trying to sell products or anything. It's a poncho. Have you considered a poncho and its uses? Because there are many of them. Yes, it's a, well, probably something like 1970 poncho, military style, and it's getting rusty, the poppers are beginning to go and so on, but it's just using this as a demonstration because they're not that expensive, and so a poncho could be a very useful piece of kit for you for a number of reasons. Obviously the first use for it is keeping you dry, but it can also keep your kit dry if it goes over the back of your rucksack or grab bag or whatever you want to call it. So that's the first useful thing for a cape. There are many different types of capes. Obviously there's cheap ones and thin ones and use only once ones and so on. But if you get one that's fairly strong like this one is, you can use it for many other things. I'm not just talking about things you can use it for in an outdoor environment. If you're stuck in a building, you could use it as a screen over a window to make a blackout so that people wouldn't know you were in that building. If you want to use a light or candle or cook at night. It's a windbreak. You can use it for a tent. There's my kit bag there, still dry. We did have Storm 10 yesterday and I wanted to demonstrate this yesterday, but it wouldn't have been practical because A, my camera isn't waterproof, this particular one, and B, the wind would have been so violent that you wouldn't have heard a word that I said. Did I hear some of you say, well, that wouldn't be a bad thing? No. Okay, let's get back to this here poncho. Okay, this particular poncho has got eyelets on the ends and poppers so that you can join several ponchos together. There's also, of course, as you know, paracord, very useful, but I'm going to use just ordinary rope that I found on the beach. Before I do that, last year a very kind friend gave me this saw, which I believe is Japanese. Well, it has Japanese writing on it, and it just locks together like that. And then you give it a tap on a tree or something. Give it a tap on a tree and you've got yourself a saw. Now, we don't actually cut down decent trees, but of course in an emergency you just got to do whatever you can. But here's a broken branch anyway, so I'm just going to take it off. This is only for the purposes of demonstration. I'll certainly put this up better than that, and anyway, you know how to put a piece of tarpaulin or a cape up into the trees to make a shelter. A hood rather, you can pull it closed with a drawstring, tie it off so that the rain doesn't come in, or if you had to, you could sit inside there and poke your head out through there. And again, you can use this in the wild or in a town or a city. Supposing you have to, for example, you're in a city but you can't use the houses, but you've got to camp under a bridge or something like that, then you can use it in the same way. It's really quite comfortable. Again, I've only put this up just to show you, and I know you can do it yourself, don't you? Okay. So let me just quickly run through some of the other uses of one of these ponchos. And I can't demonstrate this one, but if there's 5 people and one of them's injured, and I'm not talking about a massively heavy person, but if you tie the 4 corners off, then 4 people can carry the poncho and put the 5th person on top of it like a stretcher. You might want to take a spare wheel to a vehicle or something. So 4 of you could put the, I'm talking about big spare wheels here, put it on the poncho and carry it between you, or stores or potatoes or carrots or anything. So a poncho is extremely useful piece of kit. Now, you know, the other day I was on about luminous tape, etc. Well, I was reminded by my daughter-in-law that she makes resin jewellery. So at my request, she made me these glow-in-the-dark key fobs. Right, this can be useful if you come out at night for some reason and need to find your way back to your little hidden poncho. It will glow in the dark. So a poncho, very useful. It keeps you dry, it keeps the wind off you, it keeps your kit dry if you're having to walk with it over your back, Obviously you need to pull it round you to keep the rain out, but it helps to keep even your waterproofs dry, which can be nice if you're out for a long period of time. You can use it as a shelter, as I've said. You can put your head through the cover if you need to be sitting on guard, as it were. You can use it in an urban environment to put up against the window, or to shelter yourself from drafts. I mean, I'm thinking about building with windows that are blown out and so on. What else can you do with it? You can carry a casualty or supplies in it. You could conceivably collect water in it, but that's a little bit difficult. I've got another little tip for that one, if you're interested. And you could also use it as a hammock, although this being so old, I don't think it's a good idea. And why would you want to sleep in a hammock? Well, it keeps you off the ground, which helps to keep you dry. Also, in an emergency situation, there might be wild dogs or anything chasing about, so you'd be up off the ground, hopefully out of the reach of hungry dogs. I'm being serious, folks, but I'm trying to just share simple, practical things with you. God bless. The light's beginning to fade now. We had a couple of minor emergencies here today, so I've actually been out repairing storm damage, but I did want to just share the poncho with you as soon as possible.